I had, when I was 2, open heart surgery.
What?
Yes.
Why didn't I know this?
I was born a sick baby.
Oh.
I was born with a hole in my heart and a valve that didn't work properly. So, but at that time, they basically told my mom 50-50 chance of survival because they had not done a lot of these. They had not perfected the surgery. They had told my mom I wouldn't be able to play sports. I wouldn't be able to have children. As soon as I graduated, I got a job on a television show, like one of the biggest television comedy series at that time.
Which was it?
It was.
What advice could you give a woman who maybe doesn't have the family support at home, or that voice saying, of course you can do it?
Listen to yourself. And if you don't have the confidence in yourself, seek out other women, friends who do.
You are an example of that. You were told you could do something, you processed it, you trust yourself and went for it. Hi everyone, welcome back to Empowered with Gina podcast. I am so excited to bring to you a dear friend of mine, a baddie, a woman who inspires me and I've known for many years now, and she has such an interesting journey. Miss Candice Horry.
Hello, hello.
How are you, my girl?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you.
And I asked her just like the other day, and I'm like, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? And you're like, really?
I know.
I'm like 100% really.
I know.
I'm so happy you're here. Okay, so I always ask my guests the first question. 3 adjectives to describe yourself.
Okay, 3 adjectives. I would say outgoing,
Yes, for sure.
introvert,
Okay.
and I would say happy.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, who was little Candice? Where did you grow up? What was your childhood like?
I grew up in Glendale, California, right, very close by. I was born there, raised there, went to school there. My childhood was really I was born a sick baby.
Oh.
I was born with a hole in my heart and a valve that didn't work properly. It was a stenosis where it's narrowed and so it doesn't work properly. So literally when I was born, I was a sick baby.
Oh, geez.
And so at that time they were not really advanced in pediatric cardiology, especially not open heart surgery. So my mom and my poor mother, she was like devastated. She didn't know, you think you're going to just have a baby, go home. Nobody plans for that. I know, it was bad. As a mom now, I feel terrible for her. So I had, when I was 2, open heart surgery.
What?
Yes.
Why didn't I know this?
I know. A lot of people don't know this about me. I've
Open heart surgery.
open heart surgery at 2. All I think about, because people will be like, oh my gosh, how did you do that?
You were 2.
And I was like, I didn't know anything. Yes. But my mom, but at that time, they basically told my mom 50-50 chance of survival because they had not done a lot of these. They were not, they had not perfected the surgery. So at that time, they just repaired my valve and said she'll need another one probably when she goes through puberty, kind of starts growing, your heart starts working as you get older. Went through that. And then I kept being fine for the most part. I'd have episodes, whatever. But as time went on, they had told my mom I wouldn't be able to play sports. I wouldn't be able to have children. I wouldn't be able because of stress on my heart. Yeah.
Wow.
My mom, I have to say,
Sweetheart.
she was like, you can do anything. You can do anything within,
Right,
reason. What's safe. So when I was young, I wanted to play sports. And she was like, okay, I said, everyone was playing soccer. I wanted to play soccer. You can't play soccer, but you can play another sport. So I played softball.
Okay.
And I grew up, I played volleyball, I played softball, I played basketball actually, but I was really short. I was a shy kid when I was young. And as time went on, sports was kind of where I found my confidence. I loved sports. I ended up playing softball for years. As a young girl, we won the softball girls World Series when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love this.
That's why I have such a place in my heart for sports, because I think it really, for children, it develops them in all different kinds of ways.
Yeah.
Shy kids, kids that, confidence-wise, everything. So I played sports. And as I got older, I did have to have another surgery, but I was able to have kids. You know, when I got older, my cardiologist said, yeah, you can do this. And I was like,
Wow,
okay. Yeah. And so all these things that I thought were going to kind of, my life could have gone this way if my mom had said, no, you have to stay home and lay down and, you know, be inside. And she was like, you know what, let's do it.
She didn't want to raise you as like a victim or you know, incapacitate you more.
Never. She's not that kind of woman whatsoever. Yeah.
So you go through school and then you're in sports most of the time.
Yeah, I played sports. That was, you know, we went to school and played sports. Over the summer, played sports, traveled. And then...
All through high school?
Yes, all through high school.
Okay.
And then I got older and my mom didn't like... Girl sports then wasn't what it is now.
Of course,
yes.
yeah.
So my mom was like, okay, you probably want to hang it up now. You probably, you know, you're not going to play softball in college. She like literally like said that to me. It was a different time because I mean, I could have, you know what I mean? And done that, but it was a different time and she didn't realize. And I was at that point kind of like, yeah, you're right. I want to go to college. I want to, get married, have kids, you know, one day, so on and so forth. So I went to USC. And had a great time. I loved school. I loved college. I mean, you probably did as well. And then I decided I'm not sure why, I wanted to go into television. That's what the career that I wanted. And I knew nobody.
I was going to say there weren't a lot of women that looked like you at the time in television either.
Absolutely not. No. And
you're like, I'm going to do it.
I said, I'm going to do it because at that point, my confidence had grown. I was like, I don't care. You know, I'm going to try it. But the only thing I didn't do was I didn't major in film because my counselor at that time had said, well, you have to be careful because if you come out of college and you don't get a job in television or film, you have this film degree and it's kind of hard to go other places. So I was like, so I was very broad and I went communications. So I was
smart.
Yeah, I figured, you know, if I don't do that, I can do definitely something else. That as soon as I graduated, I got a job on a television show, like one of the biggest television comedy series at that time.
Which was it?
It was Home Improvement. Yeah, it was Home Improvement.
I remember watching that.
Yeah, and I was literally like the phone page, which is you just run around, you answer they have one page on the stage and you kind of spend your whole time with the actors during the week while they rehearse.
Yeah.
And you get them lunch, you get them, you're the liaison from the production company up, they're in a different building, they call down, they're like, get this, did you give everyone their call sheets, they're this. And so that's how I started.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So then you're on this show. And I just love that because I feel like a lot of your mom telling you, of course you can play sports, kind of leaked over into you saying, of course I can go into television.
Yeah, absolutely.
When nobody looked like you didn't know anyone.
Absolutely. No, 100%. My mom, like her background and where she came from and what she did, she put what she didn't do, like I think she saw what she could have done. Instead, she was a single mom. She took care of us and worked and started her own business and made this huge business and was successful. And I know there was a million things she wanted to do, but she was raising me and my sister. So she told us, you can do whatever you want. And we were like, really?
Wow.
But yeah.
And look at that, and you did it.
Oh, just to have someone to support you and tell you can and be there and be your, that in itself, means everything.
Absolutely.
I think for children in general, but so.
And then so you're on the show. Mm-hmm. How long did you stay there?
Well, after the first season, the director came up to me and said, I need an assistant. Do you want to be my assistant next year? And I was like, great, because he was wonderful in that he was very hands-on, meaning I wasn't sure. I thought I wanted to be a producer, but I wasn't sure. So with him, I was able to go to casting, go to editing, go to, I was in every meeting. I saw how kind of the whole, because I had never, before this job, I had never stepped on a stage before. So he took, and I was able to kind of see that this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And he was all about, you have to be around it and see it, and see what you want to do. So I went with him and we did that show. We did when we on our hiatus, we went to other lots and did pilots. We did a film. So it was wonderful. It was great.
Yeah.
So I worked for him, and then one day Tim came up and said,
Tim who?
Tim Allen.
Just making sure.
Yeah, because, we were always, him and his wife were so great and fun and good people. And the whole show, the whole vibe of the show.
It was a nice experience.
It was great. Everyone
loved that.
I know it sounds corny, but that was a great.
You don't really ever hear that.
You don't, and it doesn't happen so much anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's, television's kind of changed.
Yeah.
This was a show, it ran for 9 seasons, and the crew was almost pretty much the same, and they were just good people. And so it was a good environment. And he's like, I need an assistant home.
Wow.
And I thought, well, part of me is like, well, there's an assistant, should I be, because I want to do this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
But I was like, sure, let me see what's going to happen here, because also at that point, I knew I wanted a family. And I saw the hours that you work when you're on a set.
Forget it.
Work, yeah. And actually, I'd gotten married, and then I was pregnant. And I was still working for the director, and 1 and 2 in the morning, and I was like,
oh,
yeah, on a set, and I'm like, this
what
is
are
not,
you doing?
Yeah, this is not really conducive if you want to have a family and be there to see them. It's a hard, I give a lot of people
demanding.
Credit, because it's really demanding.
So then that's when you decided for your lifestyle and what you wanted, being the personal assistant to someone who, you had an excellent relationship with.
Yes.
It made sense.
It made sense, and it worked. I mean, I was able to, be there, and then times when I had to pick up my kids, show up for my kids. It worked. I could be home, make dinner, and
so good.
Yes,
Love that.
Yeah. So it was great.
And then so you started there. How long ago, or how old were you when you started?
That was like 27 years ago.
Amazing. And where are you today?
Now unfortunately, they divorced, him and his wife, and I had spent so much time in their home with her a lot of the time. And she's a businesswoman. She's a woman's woman. Yes. I love her.
Batty.
She was oh my God, she's fabulous. And she and I had really bonded, and so I stayed working with her, and she's just been. It was great because again, it worked for my home life. It worked for my family. She and I are like family. She didn't just need an assistant. She trusted me. So I kind of crossed over and I started doing all of her financials. And that was kind of I was like, I remember her, we were talking about it and they came to me with, I'm like, I wasn't a business major. I wasn't a finance major.
They're like, you can do it.
They did. She did. She's like, you can do it. You can do it. And so again, I was like, I can do this.
Surrounded by cheerleaders.
Yes. And so, again,
that.
she trusted me, and it's been. I mean, I never thought back when I was early 20s or a teenager, I'd be in. This was the path I take. But it worked out
because you're still with her today.
Still with her. Oh yeah.
And I mean, that's a testament. First of all, for you to have stayed doing that for so long, and besides the business part, the trust and loyalty both ways.
Absolutely.
That has to happen.
Yes.
Because it's such an intimate position.
It is. You're basically
vulnerable
in their life. Even sometimes you don't want to be, but you have to be because you take care of
absolutely
everything. And I mean, I've learned the things I've learned. I always laugh. It's the kind of joke I tell my husband. I'm like, I could do anything. Yeah, I could do anything, whether it's business, finances, house, blah, blah, because I was exposed to that through their lives, and then now, eventually my own.
Yeah.
So
then, okay, so let's pivot to the personal. So you were initially married.
Yes.
So walk me through what that looked like.
I got married pretty young. None of my friends. I got married right out of college, and to a great guy.
Yeah.
Wonderful man. But we were like polar opposites.
Sure.
And everyone at the time was like, you guys are getting married.
Okay, so it wasn't a surprise.
No.
Everyone was like, you guys don't match.
Yes, absolutely. You guys don't match. And I don't know. I was like, I don't care. My mom was like, what are you doing? Everything.
The first time she was like, first time ever, she said, no, don't do it.
Oh, she was like,
What
are you doing?
How funny is that?
And I said, you don't know him. I know him. And, but it was the first kind of time that I kind of rebelled.
Sure.
Before that, I had kind of done everything, school, this, that. And I got married.
You did it.
I did it. And
You had your baby.
had my baby.
Who is now how old?
Oh my gosh, she's going to be 29.
I
She's
can't.
going to be 29 this week, in a couple days.
Happy birthday.
Yes, I know. My Gabrielle, who's, she's fabulous. But,
I know.
And unfortunately, my marriage didn't work out. But the co-parenting, he's greatest dad. She has a great relationship with, we're friends. It worked out. And then it's funny because when we got married, everyone realized what a great guy he was. And we're like, oh, we get it now. I'm like, see, you should have trusted me. But my mom had told me when we got married, she said, I hope this lasts. I hope it, but it's hard when you don't have a commonality. You guys don't, it's great that he likes this and you like this and you guys will try. But eventually at some point it might cause, which it kind of did.
Sure.
It kind of did.
And then, so after how many years did you divorce?
7.
7 years divorced.
Yes.
And then here you are, single mom with baby.
Yeah.
And then what happens next?
I was still working. Not long after that, I met my current husband, Robert, and that was just a whirlwind. That was just kind of like a lot,
How did you meet?
We met so randomly. We met at a restaurant in, oh my gosh, we always laugh because it's always embarrassing. We met at a P.F. Chang's.
Delicious lettuce wraps.
Yes, I'm sorry.
He's in the other room. That's why he's watching us.
He is. He said lettuce wraps. That's so
Lettuce
funny.
wraps, the best.
Lettuce wraps, exactly.
So you met at a restaurant, like random.
Randomly, just kind of bumped into each other. Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, she's married to Robert Horry, who is, and I'm so embarrassed because I didn't know. I don't know sports.
That's okay.
I don't know sports.
Yeah, people.
And I didn't know who he was when you were dating him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sure he's a basketball player. He's pretty tall.
Yes, I know.
Period.
Yes.
Next thought.
Yes.
But anyways, that's okay. Very well known and respected.
No, I always say either people completely know or they have no idea, which is fine either way.
Yeah.
Not everyone's a, sports buff, and not everybody.
And so okay, so you're having your life, but then the fact that he's like a very well-known basketball player, that's a whole other layer that most humans don't ever get to experience.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so how do you navigate that? Because people are constantly, I see it when we're out, just coming at him for a picture, they walk away.
Yes.
And I'm like, that seems like that could be annoying and tiring. How has it been?
It's fine. It's fine only because it's not me. They're not bothering me. I mean, I understand I'm with him and they might interrupt and whatnot, but I feel like it would be hard to be him or any other person that's high profile.
Absolutely.
Because they have to be smiling.
Constantly.
Yes, but you know what? For the most part, the people are always wonderful. Oh, they're nice people. They're so gracious. They're so
excited.
And how can you be mad at that? And how can you?
That's true.
So and he's really good about, he'll pretty much say yes to anyone because they're taking the time. They're nervous. They're, a lot of times they're always apologizing. And I'm just like, it's fine. Or they apologize to me. I say, it's fine. Complete. Because they're fans. And that's these guys. Yeah. I think you kind of have to have. And also, I think because I had years around in television, we were around all these superstars and seeing that, it's kind of, especially as an assistant, when I started, you stand back and you see all this.
See it all.
So you're used to it.
Interesting, yeah.
It's not in the same context because it's not my husband.
Yeah.
But kind of.
Yeah, okay. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so there's that already.
And then together you have
Christian,
who is our star.
He's my guy. He's gonna be 20. Yeah. So.
And he's at UCLA.
He's at UCLA.
You're so proud of him.
I'm so proud of him. He's really been an easy kid, a good kid. It's so I'm thankful.
Speaks to the parents, though.
Thank you.
It speaks to the parents, and the fact that I know your 2 kids and see how grounded they are, and they're like wonderful, kind people. Yeah. Again, that's an absolute reflection of the parents and the parenting.
Well,
again, and they probably didn't have a normal-ish experience with, Robert.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the fact that they're just kind people,
that's
and wonderful.
You know, as a parent, if there's one thing you want, that's what you want to raise. Good people. You want to raise, you know, kind, compassionate, but you also want them to be strong and know their worth and know who they are. So there's a balance, I think. And I feel so blessed that I have these two kids who are just, I look at them and I'm like,
Cool.
I could send them out in the world and they'll be okay. And they have their own, you know, goals, and you know they're both working. My daughter works like this work ethic I so admire, because I know I work hard and I've worked hard, but she just like took it to another level. She wanted television too, and she's just been kicking ass ever since she graduated from college. So I'm so proud of her. And she's tough. She's really tough.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And then Christian he's worked hard since he was a little kid. He was like, he came out of the womb just being this really focused child who he school, everything. He was going to do it himself. He studied. He wasn't okay with being anything less than with everything. That's kind of, it was kind of in him.
Yeah.
So even though we'd say, blah, blah, he'd be like, I got it. And I was like, okay.
And let him figure it out.
Exactly.
So a lot of the women are going to be watching this, and what would you say, because I'm sure you hear it a lot too, a lot of women interface and they're like, well, you're such an inspiration. How do you do that? What would you say to women? And because you since a birth, you were told you can't do certain things by society, but fortunately you've had cheerleaders in your corner.
Yeah.
What advice could you give a woman who maybe doesn't have the family support at home, or that voice saying, of course you can do it? Could you advise or recommend something that they could tell themselves?
Yeah.
Especially if they're moms.
Yes. Don't listen to anyone else. That's my thing. Don't listen to yourself and whatever you have. And if you don't have the confidence in yourself, seek out other women, friends who do, because being around it, you'll start to feel it. Being around it, you'll start to think, I could do that. Or I could, to be doing the things that I'm doing now financially, I was like, but I would have never attempted that had someone not said, you can do it. Yeah, you can. Look at, you're smart. You've come this far. And so for other women, I think if you don't have someone in your corner, if you seek out people like that, or talk to yourself and don't care what anyone else says, because people don't want to see you succeed. And there's one thing that they want to see you fail.
Oh.
They want to see you not make it in your relationship, in your career. And I hate to say that, it's not all people, but
I know.
You know.
Don't I know? But to that, and I think what you're alluding to is, out of that is opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
So we know it is what it is. We're not going to change people. We're not going to change human nature where people are like cutthroat and wanting their competitors or their people that, they're jealous of to fail. That is going to be what it is.
Yes.
We cannot change that.
Yep.
But it's an opportunity for us to learn how to be stronger, to learn math, to, learn to find our community of people that can encourage us if we don't have it at home or we didn't grow up with it. It's not an excuse.
Yeah, and don't be afraid.
That's a big one.
Right? That's a big one.
Because people will say, well, okay, Candice, I hear you, but I'm scared.
Scared, yeah. I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid of, this, that.
Then what do you tell them?
Sometimes you have to trust yourself. And I know people will say, oh, sure, it's easy. You have a husband.
Oh, it's easy for you, Candice.
I was, years and years and years, I didn't have him. It was, me, my mom, if anything.
And then single mom.
Single mom, yeah. And so sometimes you just have to say, I didn't buy my kids back to school clothes from Nordstrom's and Neiman Marcus, blah, blah. I was like, hey, we're going to Target. We're going to, because this is what I can afford right now. And who cares? You're going to go run around the playground and stuff. Yeah. And so you have to say, I don't care what anyone thinks. This is my plan and this is what I'm going to do, and trust yourself. You really have to trust yourself. I
love that.
It's important.
And truly, you are an example of that. You were told you could do something. You processed it. you trust yourself and went for it. Like time and time and time again, and you're doing it. And I'm not surprised your children are the way they are, because look what you modeled. And Robert as well, obviously. It's not easy to do what he does.
No.
Or his career, and then navigating it all. But I'm just so grateful that you came, because I really wanted to share who you are with the world.
I appreciate that. I do. That is sweet of you to be interested and let me kind of tell a little bit about myself.
It's so important. And then I would love to have Gabriella on.
Oh, I think that she'd be.
Come on, girl.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And your mom. Let's do 3 generation. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Like, wow, the trickle effect.
Well, you know what's so funny is we say Gabrielle is so much like my mom. She's so headstrong like my mom, and I'm like, it's so funny because I see so much of my mom in Gabrielle.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I know. It's great. Raising strong women.
And by the way, shout out to Damina, who brought us together. Our girl Damina
she's another one. Talk about, I'd say I have like 2 best friends that I would, my whole life. One of them, we've been friends for over 45 years. This is my dearest Jen. And then Damina, talk about a cheerleader, and talk about someone who's always in your corner.
Always.
And she is a girl's girl.
I know it.
And so she's someone else that has always said, oh yeah, you could,
100%.
And she's raising a fabulous daughter too.
Oh, honor. Why you go?
Watch out for honor.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. But it kind of, I think when Honor has so much love, we love Honor. We think she's fabulous, and it shows in her. She's like, no one's going to stop me. Yeah, no one's going to stop me. So,
birds of a feather.
Right? Exactly. See, you know.
Anyways, well, I love you, friend. Thank you for your time.
You too. Thanks for having me.
I'll have you back, hopefully.
Okay, for sure.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.